So good morning everyone,
Good
and
morning.
as you can see, this is a typical Italian dish. It's called lasagna, and the real name is lasagna alla bolognese because of it comes from Bologna, which is like a city in the north, and so it's like the adjective that indicates where it's the dish from. And you probably already know about it because you probably eat here a lot of this type of food, but this is going to be very different from what you have eaten here. From the frozen lasagna you can try here. This is homemade, so it's going to be probably much more different, and I hope you like it. Thank you. So, hello everyone, I'm Federico, and I'm from Italy. And before starting the presentation, I just want to make sure that y'all know where Italy is, and I'm pretty sure you know where is it, but because some people ask me questions about where it was located and they thought it was maybe in South Africa or South America. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that, it's right here. And I came from like the northern part, which is the city is called Milan. So the name, this is the Italian name, Italia, also known for you, Italy. And I just want to start like with just the fast history background, just to let you know like the main events that made our country. So this is a picture in 1815, and as you can see, the territory already was like divided. It was not all together. Like all the colors, you can see pink. There were all different regions, but Italy was not born yet in 1815 until 1861, where the unification in March 17th, and the orange part was called the Reign of Italy, and that flag was our flag, the old flag of Italy. But it was not all together yet, because there was still the church state, which was in the middle, and that kind of light blue, and then still Lombardo Veneto, which is like the green one, was still divided from Italy. Until then we go to Alright, so we go to 1948, the 1st of June, when Italy, after World War II, it decided to, we had like Italian people can vote, and we decided to become a republic or still be a monarchy, because before that day, Italy was still a monarchy, so we had a king. And the vote was 12 millions against 10 million, so that wasn't a big difference, but republic won. And this was the first newspaper that came the day the day after Italy became a republic. So I just want to show you some statistics about Italy and USA just to compare them and just to understand, kind of get more an idea of how Italy is. This is our population. We're about 60 million of people, and USA has about 316. But when you see how many people are there, this is like a square kilometers, which is about like a square miles. It's not very different. And this is how many people we have in square kilometers. We have about 200, and in USA just have like 34. So the difference is very big. So we don't have as much population as of course USA has, but we have more people like in a small territory. So we can have lots of people in our country. For me. So this is just a picture of like the lights that you can see. And so that makes you understand like a more populated area of Italy. You see like the north is like pretty much the most populated. And then in kind of the center, which is like Rome and stuff, and then the south is pretty not very populated, but like the last part is pretty much long. So I just want like a game with you, just to see how much you know about Italy. I'm just gonna show you like some pictures, and you have to guess what city I'm talking about. So, what do you know? Venice. So this is like kind of very interesting city, I think, because how it's built. It's built like on the water. I mean, it's just, and you see, if you want to go like somewhere else, they don't use cars as we do, because cars are not allowed in Venice to go around. You can just use bicycles or boats. So if you want to go to your friend, you take the boat, and then you go from there, you go to the other side using the boat around the city. Then we come here. So what city? Of course, Rome is the capital of Italy. So it's probably like one of the most historical sites for Italy, because Romans, of course, so they have lots of old buildings, but Colosseum is probably like the most famous, the one that everyone knows. What about this? Sorry? This is my city. It's Milan. This is the cathedral, so it's a Gothic cathedral, and it's considered like the business capital of Italy. Rome is the real capital, but it's more like a tourism city. Milan is pretty much like New York for you in USA. It's not that big, but it's considered like the business capital. And it's also famous because it's capital of fashion. So in the world, if you ever hear about something that's going on with fashion and stuff, it's probably going on in Milan. Because like it's the main center of fashion. Then what about this?
Did they ever get that straightened up?
Pizza. And why do you know it's pizza?
I know, I saw that, but I was reading an article in the paper years ago that they were going to try to straighten that up.
No, not really. I don't think about it. But of course, it's because it's leaning, so that's why it's pretty famous. And you can go on the top of it. You can walk around it. It's protected, so you cannot fall. So you can walk around. You cannot really fall, but you feel like you're like a bit falling down because it's not very the best. You feel like it's gonna fall down soon, but it's never gonna fall down. It looks like, but it's not. Then what about this?
Vatican City.
Starts with F. Florence. And we have the cupola, which is the first one made like in all the history. And it was made from an architect. His name was Filippo Brunelleschi. And he was the first architect to do cupola like that. And so that's what makes Florence famous, apart from the beautiful city that they have, the castle you can see. Because of course, like the city at that time, there were regions like it was in Italy until 1861. I mean, USA was born in 1776, so it's pretty like an old country. Italy is not really that old, and with that, every city was like they could live by themselves, so that the castle, the church, that king and queens at that time. So that's why the castle. And what city is this?
The Vatican.
The Vatican, yeah. So that's where the Pope is, and on Sunday when there is the church time, it's totally full, the place, and it continues to go up, and it's just packed. People from all over the world came for seeing the Pope. And it's pretty interesting when you see all that kind of nationalities in there. You can see all the world for real. All the world is there on Sunday. So I'm just going to talk fastly about the Italian cuisine because it's pretty much very famous. All right, it's very famous. So why is that famous and why it's probably that good? It's because all the different cultures that have been on, the territory, all the different nationalities that have been there, Romans and all the different cultures. So here, Italian cuisine is pretty much famous, so it's considered like a very good, type of cooking. But what you see here is not very Italian. So if you read something on kind of, I don't know, ingredients or cheese and stuff and they say it's Italian, it's not. So don't pay more money for buying something which they say it's Italian, because they just put it because they want to make you pay more. I'm just going to talk about very fast about the story of pizza, because not a lot of people know that pizza at the beginning, it was just considered, it wasn't a dish, it was just a tester, so they used it, so like in the oven, they put the fire, they started the fire in, and they used this slice of bread that was like round, it was called pizza, to check if the oven was cooked, was hot enough. So there was nothing on the top. And it was sold to poor people because they used it and they didn't eat anymore, so they was just given to the poor people on the streets. Until when someone decided to put tomato sauce and mozzarella on it, and pizza was born, and it's pretty much like the most famous dish that you can see. Like, if you think about Italy, you think about pizza first, or that kind of dish. So the wine was actually born in France, but Italy, it's in the south. It's like the most famous production that they do, and we grow up with wine. Here it's considered, alcohol. You have to be 21, so it's legal for you. But in Italy, it's not. So since I was like 12, we had wine on the table, and it was considered normal for us. I mean, it's just something that you use. So if you use sodas and water, we had water and wine on the table. So, and bread, of course, but wine is pretty much one of the most important part of our cooking, our cuisine. And for a good wine, it takes like more than 10 years, so it's not something which you can make it in a couple of days, or you can have it ready. So 10 years is pretty much a good time for a good wine. And then when it gets more time than that, it just becomes more valuable and it costs more. So everyone ever heard about mafia? Pretty much. So this is mafia. It's not the real name that we call in Italy. Mafia is like a criminal organization, so that's how you recognize the name. But the three ones you see, so Camorra, 'Ndrangheta, and Cosa Nostra, are the three main organizations. And Cosa Nostra is pretty much the most famous one, the most powerful one, and it's located in Sicily, which is the island just, on the bottom. And why this happened is because at the beginning of our history, in 1861, since was like a different, it was an island, so no one really cared about that place, and these criminal people started to have power in it, selling with prostitution and selling drugs, and all kind of illegal activities. And what today happens is that they put fear in people, so people don't want to talk about it. They are scared, and the silence is the main problem there. Because even if someone kills someone in your family, no one is gonna say who did it, because they're scared that something else is gonna happen to your family. And so that's what happens. This is a picture of Napoli. We call it Munezza. Munezza is like trash in like southern slang. And this is actually a true picture about 1-2 years ago when mafia, and this was the 'Ndrangheta, didn't allow public transportation for bringing the trash away. And so this was the city was looking like, and trash was just all over the city. So for you, football, baseball, and basketball are like the three main sports. For us, it's soccer. We call it calcio in Italian, just put our name. And we just have pretty much soccer. You have like more different sports. In Italy, we just have soccer. And we live with that. We hear about soccer every day on the news, and everyone talks about soccer. It's like one of the main things that you talk about every day. And this is a picture of 2006 when we became world champions. But now the title has Spain as the title. This was an old picture. We won against France. So that was a pretty good morning. Then I don't say about the difference between our school in Italy and the school in the USA. It's very similar to probably all the European system, but Italian is pretty much different from all the others one. Because we do 13 years of school, not 12, and we don't call them first grade, second grade, third grade. We have elementary school, which are 5 years of school, then we have medium school, which is 3 years of school, and then we have high school, which is 5, the last 5. And for you, you choose your subjects, we don't. We decide what high school to go to, so we may have a scientific high school where you have just math, geometry, chemistry, biology all together, or an artistic high school, or a linguistic high school where you study different languages. And we have all different ones, but the subjects that you have, they're already decided, and they're the same for all the years. And the thing that probably no one likes in going to school in Italy, in high school especially, is that we go to school on Saturday. So we do 5 hours a day of school, so we start at 8 and we finish at 1, but we go to school on Saturday. So it's like working because you go to school, and it's not very good. It's not nice when you wake up on Saturday to go to school. All right.
Can you choose which school you go to?
Yeah, you can choose.
So
Is
if you're more scientific, you go to the scientific.
you decide, even if you're more scientific, but you like linguistic high school, and you had like more good grades in math and geometry, but you prefer arts, you can still go to artistic high school. It's not like closed. We have some like private high schools, or like more difficult ones where you have to take a test for going there. But like for universities, we have like free universities which you don't have to pay for going there. So they're like kind of open. And then we have of course like closed one where you like have to take a test, and just like a few people are gonna go there, not everyone. So this is pretty funny because it's true Italians use hands to communicate, but lots of people think we do something like that, but we don't. We don't do this. So if you say in Italian, don't talk with him like that, because we don't use that. We don't use our hands like that. So I'm just gonna finish with talking about this guy. He is like probably one of the most famous person in Italy. He's like the most rich one, and his name is Berlusconi. He used to be our president, and he kind of liked girls. He liked girls, we can say that. And what he did is that he allowed a girl, like she was an ex-prostitute, to be in the government. And this kind of show like more like how free is Italy different from here. It's more like a freedom state. It's not like totally free, of course, like Netherlands, but it's more like easygoing. People are as nice as here, but you can see difference between north and south. But I like Italy, and I think it's a pretty good place for everyone to go and visit it. So if you have any questions or something you want to ask, now is the time.
You're going to finish high school here?
No, I'm going to do the 12th year here, so here in USA, and then when I will be back, I will do the last year, which is like the 13th one, because we do 13 years of school.
And then where will you go? To what?
I was thinking about making like a year of college here in USA or somewhere else, and then go back and finish university there. Because I think college here is good, but it's probably not as good as we have them. Because you study a lot here, but you don't really study that much at school. It's pretty much easy here at school. So